Dirty. Play this record as frequently as possible. Oh, dirty. 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 Me and my niggas get dirty. When any of these niggas wanna get delirious like Eddie Murphy. Oh, Hercules. Ain't showing that kitty no mercy. Fuck the 3 exes, no one neglected. Brother the turkey. Yeah, brother the turkey,
Welcome back, Raw Nation, to another installment of Raw View, where we get a better insight of each king and queens behind the scene. I'm your host, Chino One Y'all Baby. I'm here with, what's your name, sir?
Slim the Wit, but you could just call me Slim.
Mr. Slim, how you feeling today, bro?
I'm good. A little tired. I made a terrible decision and went on a run, and it was 88 degrees and humid. I'm good.
That's a little too much. I'm surprised you survived out there, man.
I was out there breathing like a dog.
man, I don't know what to call it when the air outside feels like somebody's breathing on your face.
I feel like I was in the New York subways, man.
It's something.
Oh, it was ugly.
But I appreciate you being on the show, my guy, and go ahead, for the fans at home, elaborate on who actually Mr. Slim is.
Who I am. I guess what goes into who I am are all the aspects, location, place, people. I'm born in Newark, New Jersey. For those who aren't familiar with Newark, it's one of the hoods across America. The crime rate went down over the years, but when I was young, it was ugly there. So I grew up seeing and experiencing and losing folks close to me to gang violence and drugs and all the ugly stuff that folks see in the movies. Is all too real. Then for high school, I went away to boarding school in a private white institution, and it's in the suburbs. You feel me? It's like woods out here. I'm seeing deers on the regular. So that sort of juxtaposition. And I went to college at a private white institution as well. So to have that balance, especially in those formative years of my life, I've been able to draw some conclusions about where I'm from, and rather than succumb to my environment, really rise above and not just leave. And folks used to say something about me leaving. I'm not leaving to leave. I'm leaving to come back empowered in order to uplift my city. Right. And along with that, my faith plays a huge role in my personality and who I am and what I do and what I'm about.
Right.
So I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus, and my faith is what keeps me pushing on this journey.
Okay, that's beautiful, man. Where did you go to college?
Holy Cross. I'm actually repping right now.
Hey, shout out.
Southern Massachusetts.
Yes, sir. What I've seen online is that you do music. How'd you get into music?
So it's always been a part of me. Growing up, my mother was a choir director. So when I told you earlier, I've been singing as long as I can remember. She was the choir director, so I didn't learn how to riff and run or anything, but I could hit and hold a note. And she put us in piano lessons. Even though everyone quit, I was the only one that stuck around, but they didn't have enough money from folks to stay. I was the only one at the end of the day, so they ended up shutting it down. So I had a little bit of keys in me. And then any musical opportunity I had in school, like playing the recorder, I'm jumping on it. I was in chorus in school. Going to high school, I joined the vocal ensemble. So
okay,
musical outlet.
Okay, how did you turn all that into like rap? Like, did you just come out and be the only person on choir just like rapping while everybody was singing?
Not even. That's the craziest part. Like I always think back, like when did rap ever make its entrance? 'Cause I wasn't allowed to listen to rap growing up. So it's not like
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Early 2000s, so that's like, feel me? That's right off that. We was born in the same years of like Pac and Biggie, right when they died. Same year I was born when they passed. But like on the come up around the time we were young, I'm thinking 50 Cent, Jay-Z,
Oh yeah.
and Dr. Dre. You feel me?
Oh yeah.
They were hot, but I wasn't allowed to listen to any of that. First rap I ever heard was like 5th grade, and that was Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
And that's when he was bugging. I was like, he put out the No Ceilings mixtape. That was Carter 3. Not too long later, Carter 4 came out. Drake just came out my 7th grade year.
Yeah.
Young Money did their whole run.
Young Money was just everything off of Young Money was just popping off in that era.
Bedrock had the streets, man.
Yeah.
I swear. But yeah, just listening and I was bullied in elementary and middle school. So like to be cool or to try to fit in, I'm learning these raps word for word, not really knowing I'm storing these flows in this data bank that would later be access for me to rap, you know?
Right.
I'm learning all these different flows, and then junior year, so it was a touchback to me being where I'm from. I lost my older cousin Swig, so
Okay.
he was shot and killed, and I was up here in boarding school. I couldn't even go down to the funeral. I had
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah, it is. Is what it is. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Condolences.
Would you say? Don't mean to cut you off or anything. Would you say like all that back to the Young Money, Cash Money, YMCMB? Would you say like they've inspired like your flows and everything, and like anything that has to do with your rap?
No, it wasn't them. It wasn't them. It was in high school. Mac Miller, Wale,
Hey, okay.
the heaviest influence on my flows. Snoop Dogg, because they just sound so cool on the beat. Their flows are ridiculously smooth.
I was gonna say because like I didn't pick that up, but I was just like, okay, I guess if they can blend, because like I picked that up too. You seem more of like I don't want to say like all the technicians like sort of like Logic and like Joyner like, but you're like syllables, like you divide your syllables and you break them up so then that way you can actually move. And like I couldn't hear that coming off of Lil Wayne or Drake or anything.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep. I am a tactician in that sense, just because the English language is as complicated as it is, it's beautiful. And you can use your words to tell a story, you know.
Right. And now we're just in a time where like you can do different emphasis, like different phrases. Like you can do anything just off the same word. You can have like 3 different meanings off the same word.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with like how they're spelled or if they're homonyms where they're spelled the same way or they sound the same. It has to do with just like people just slang in general. So like where I'm at, which is in Indiana, might sound different. The dialect is different than over there in New Jersey. So then like the way that you would talk, you would come over here and be like, I don't understand what these hicks over here, these country folk are saying. You saying, bro?
I got a little country in me. My mom was born in Alabama.
Okay.
Down in Georgia, they were in Ohio, so
not too far from the farm.
Not too far.
All right, man. You out there doing anything besides music?
Yeah, currently I'm teaching 10th grade English. So to talk.
Oh, really?
Language, yeah, teaching 10th grade English.
I was gonna be like, where you getting all them big words? Now it all adds up. Now I'm understanding where all them words go. But
who I'm around too, they use big words, and we'll sit there and look at them on the group chat, and then like 5 minutes pass, and somebody finally type, what that mean? Like,
yeah.
We want to level up from there.
Right. Is there like any particular person besides like Mac Miller? Like, let's say you had like a feature with somebody and they called you up. They're like, you can have one feature right now. Besides Mac Miller, YMCMB, like who would it be?
If they said hop on this feature.
No, so like you had one phone call. I gave you a phone. I'm like, here you go. You can call any one of these contacts.
3 stacks.
Oh, Andre?
3 stacks.
Why?
To me, he's the illest rapper in the game.
Underrated. Underrated illest
Like,
rap.
you know how people have like their top 5, their top 10. 3 Stacks is etched in gray. He's like 0. He's not ranked for me. He's just above in his own category. And Kendrick is slowly pushing his way in there.
Yeah, he is too.
3 Stacks is just different. Not only as a rapper, but as a musician too.
Why would you say that though? Like not for me. Like I could clearly relate. I just want to make sure like you break it up.
Okay. Again, with the English language, his use of words, his storytelling, his ability to do it through the music, like the musicianship of the song, on top of
And he does it so effortlessly. Like it just came to mind as he did it. Like he'd even write it down. It's not like he's staring at something when he's rapping. It's just like it's just coming out.
And you could feel him feeling the beat as he rapping. Like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking specifically of this verse in the Quemina. And he had a specific flow. Him and Big Boy. Big Boy got an ill flow too, and they just rapping through it. And then there's this break in the song where the song just ride out. And then boom, it hits again. I don't know, right? Then like, and you can't do nothing. You could just imagine everybody in the booth like, dang, he is snapping. Like, exactly.
Going crazy on him, going crazy.
And every time you listen to a verse of his or a song, it's like you catch something new every time. Every time.
It's crazy.
And artists like that, they don't make them like that anymore. Like
lifetime.
3 Stacks,
Right.
lifetime.
It's almost like once a generation sort of thing, and not even like I want to say like I would say like there's a select few. The way that I've like always rated artists, especially like the way I've like rated everything, is just like it's either you're legendary, which legendary means that without you the game wouldn't be what it is. Period.
Dang.
And then there's in the middle, which is like you're all right, like you did stuff, like you did it, you made it, and people know you. And then there's like, like
you're just making music, right?
Yeah. Stay over there. But like I put a lot of people in there. Who would you say is today's like because 3 Stacks was like the generation before us? Who would you say today is our 3 Stacks and like our legendary people? Who would you say?
Kendrick, Easy, Cole. I don't want to say this, but I have to because respect goes to that man, Drake. And the reason I say this is because ever since Take Care, I feel like he hasn't been trying.
No.
Nothing was the same. Yeah, he had some things on there. He was telling some stories on there. Views is slowly just, and don't get me wrong, he still had hits on all of his projects coming out, but
they're trendy.
Yeah, exactly.
They're trendy. Right now, he's just making sure he can stay trendy.
Yep.
Because that's all he has to do. Because if he stays in your mouth, then you're going to keep paying the money.
Stays in, yep.
That's it. And the boy's like what? Like 30 something? Like mid 30s? Late 30s?
Mid 30s.
It's like, bruh, like I agree with you because I remember when I was in school, because he started hitting when I was in basically middle school. And around that time, I was just like, I had other people like starting to talk, and they're just like, bro, this guy Drake, he's tearing him up. And I'm just like, I sounded like Soulja Boy, Drake. Bro, I didn't know who it was, and I remember all those, and I remember past a certain point, and I specifically think it's like what you just said, is he knew, because I think that was around the time the Future started coming in too. And then he heard that boy, and he heard that sound, and Future, I feel like there is a group of people that are just smart, but then they know that if they don't dumb down their shit, that it's not going to hit and people aren't going to want it. And I don't necessarily think there is a person who has made it in the business and made a lot of money I don't think there's any dumb people up there. I think that they are all smart, making watered down music because they know that people are going to slap that,
Eat it up. Yup.
and that's it. And I think that's what Drake learned. I feel like he started off and he's like making good music, so people like us would be like, bro, this guy slaps, and he's like writing actually good stuff. Like there's lyricism in there. Not to say he doesn't have lyricism now, but it's like real life events with lyricism, and it's just like that's what you want. Then he started edging towards like bitches, bottles, like I got better stuff than you, just with lyricism involved here and there.
And just that cash talk. And like you said, back with YNCMB and before Take Care, that boy was rapping like he had eviction notice on his door. Like
Bro,
he was rapping like he had bills past due. Like
he was acting like he was living out a car, bro. Like, he was like,
uh,
man, if I don't make it out of this, I don't know where I'm gonna be. Gotta feed my mama.
real talk. Remember that tear he was going on with Wayne, him and Wayne on every song, just
Bro, like I remember that.
rapping like
It
that.
just it just seemed like they were coming up after like coming up with a hit after hit after hit after hit. Even to this day, like even though Lil Wayne is just like he's not even hanging on, he's just there.
Yeah.
And then I feel like even to this day, like Drake is trying to do what Lil Wayne is doing. Which it's his mentor, first of all, and he brought him in here. But you got to think about it like this. It's just like that boy has been in the game for a minute. Lil Wayne's been in there since like at least beginning of the 90s, and not a lot of people know that. He didn't pop off until late 90s, obviously with Juvenile and all them.
Uh-huh.
But he's been doing it for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you think about it, we waited how long for Carter 5, and then as soon as we got Carter 5, how many people liked it, bro? So many
Ever, and that joint turned out.
so many people waited for that, expecting that to be like the holy grail, and I was just like, nah, bro. At a certain point, I was just like, this is too long. Like we're overhyping it too much now. Way Pat, and I feel like it's not his problem either. I feel like to him he leveled up, but then our expectations just increased over the years so high.
Yep. And again, that was supposed to be an album that he put out years ago, so he probably would have slapped when it was due to come out.
Probably.
You analyze the game, especially how you said Drake seeing Future, because Take Care was right when Future was like making a foothold in the game.
Yeah, I think that was right around like Turn Off the Lights and stuff. Yeah.
Dang.
But that's crazy how far back that was. It's crazy.
I always tie it back to high school, and I'm not in high school when that long ago. It's really been 10 years since I was a freshman. Like,
bro, crazy, man. It's crazy.
Drake artist of the decade. Like, dang, it has been a decade.
It zoomed by pretty quick, man. I'm like looking at myself, just like, oh my lord. I guess it has been that long.
Real talk.
But like I said, man, in the beginning, I appreciate you taking the time to stop in and share a little bit of who you actually are, my guy.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Before we get on out of here, though, okay. I only got one more question for you. Where you see all this stuff going for you a year, 5 years, man, it could be tomorrow. Like, I know we just talked about a decade, but, you know, where do you see all this stuff going in the long run?
I'm about to drop a project within the next month. So in a year, I'll be in a solid place. I think with all the marketing we got in place and in the producing, I was very, very methodical about our approach. About catchy melodies, about the BPM of the song, what's gonna get people to dance, what dance moves are hitting now, the whoa. You could do a whole lot of that on these beats, but I'm getting too deep into my project, not the question you're asking. In a year, I think I'll be in a very solid spot. In 5, I will be established in the game for sure. So I'm gonna put out more projects than that. I'll definitely have an album out by then.
Yes, sir.
in the album or multiple albums, but I'm not trying to think too far ahead. I got one project to focus on.
Right.
And yeah,
I
we're
mean,
talking decade, but in the decade, I'll be 35. I'll be Drake's age. I will be. I would like to say that I'll be on that legendary status, but in 5 years, I'll be established in the game. I can say that confidently.
that's crazy, man. I see it too, man. Like I said way back, I'm like I could easily see it. Like from what I've been seeing that you've been doing and where I picked you up from, I was just like, man, this guy's got it. This
Yeah,
cat's got it. But like I said, man, I definitely appreciate your time. Shout out any place we can find you because the fans definitely need to find you.
that's Instagram, TikTok. I wouldn't say YouTube. Don't slide through that, but Instagram is and TikTok are where I'm most active. I mean, follow on Twitter if you like. It's all the same handle. Slim DeWitt, DAWIT. Slim DeWitt on all on all things. And in about a month, maybe by the time you release this to the fans and the public, that should be released. At least my single should.
Okay.